friends, and welcome to our very last craft with us. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Brittany and I'm the head of children's here at the Winchester Public Library. But most everybody just calls me Miss B. Not because we're formal in any way, just because it's easier to say. All right, my friends, so as I mentioned, this is our very last craft with us. School starts on Wednesday here in Winchester, and we're going to be finishing the renovation in the children's room and moving on to do some other new, fun, fabulous activities. So thank you to everyone who has been crafting with me for the last year. So we saved a really special one for last. This one is kind of tricky to do if you don't have the materials. So for those of you who stopped and grabbed our craft bags, they all went before noon. So thanks for everyone for jumping over here. And if you didn't, you can kind of craft along with some clay or some Play-Doh, but it might not dry the same. But you can kind of work along with us if you want. So let's go through our stuff. For those of you who looked, you know we're making magical dragon eggs. All right, so first and foremost, we have our Model Magic clay. This, friends, is enough to make 2 kind of regular size eggs, or you can make a bunch of teeny ones. You could make a really big one, but it's gonna take like 3 days to dry. So you do you, totally up to you, but just so that you know, about half of this, doing it the way I'm gonna show you, takes about 24 hours to dry, just for planning purposes, okay? And then you got a marker, or we said you could have some paint on hand. That was an optional thing. Some gems you should have gotten, some shells and other things to decorate, and then some tin foil. All right, so those are all of our pieces. Let's get started. So the first thing you wanna do is you wanna take your tin foil, and this is gonna be the inside of our egg. Again, the egg is clay, so it needs to dry. And if you made the whole thing out of clay, it would dry eventually, but it would take forever. So the way we're going to kind of speed up the drying time so it only takes a day is we're going to make the inside out of tin foil. And you won't see it because we're going to cover it with the clay. So what you want to do is you want to kind of make an egg-ish shape out of your tin foil to the very best of your ability, okay? There we go, like that, okay? So it's kind of like an egg, and the clay, you'll see, we're gonna play with it and we're gonna get messy with it. And so we're gonna try to work the clay. We're gonna start with half of the clay, and we're gonna try to get it to be about 1/2 inch thick. So before we get all messy, if you wanna kind of know what 1/2 inch is, it's about the width of your pinky finger. All right, where's my ruler? I'm doing this upside down. All right, so if you see, that's about 1/2 inch, so about the width of your pinky finger. That's about how thick we need our clay to be. So like, think when you're making pizza, like a little thicker than like thin crust pizza. Okay, so kind of gauge the middle, and we're gonna break it off in half. And then you can make a second one later, or you can make some tiny ones. It's totally up to you. It's kind of stretchy, so you're gonna have to pull really hard. Oof, that's a little more than I wanted. There we go. Okay, put it down on my desk. Definitely a work surface that you can wipe down, my friends, because we're gonna get messy. All right, so you have some options for your clay. Okay, if you have some watercolor paints or some other kind of paints nearby, you can add a little drop and work the color in right now as we're starting to stretch it out. If you want to just go ahead and use your white clay, you can paint it when it dries. So tomorrow when it dries, it's totally up to you. I'm going to add just a little bit. I'm already losing clay, friends. I'm going to add a very small little bit of pink because I think it's going to show up really well into my clay. And then I'm gonna kind of mix it around, woo, as it goes. See, here it comes, it's smearing out a little bit. And as you smear it around, you can see where you want to add some more. See, you don't want to overwork it too much. But there, see, it's getting kind of cool and pink and swirly. So can kind of work it again like pizza dough. You can put a couple more drops in if you want, and kind of smear it around. And then I'm gonna get it all over my desk, which is totally fine. So there, I'm gonna have kind of a streaky, fluorescent, put a little more there. And again, you can absolutely do this once everything is dry tomorrow, okay? So if you don't have paints handy, or you're not really in a place where you can get that messy right now, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Okay. All right, so see, it's kind of some pink and some white. All right, so there we go. It's about, see, there's our kind of 1/2 inch thick right there. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can kind of work it through, and you can always use some water or your finger if you feel like there are some parts that are getting a little bit thin. I've never seen a dragon egg, have you? So I don't know what one looks like. So there you go. So you want to kind of wrap it in your foil, like so. And once you stretch it around, you can always cover it back up. And if you find that you have some left over, we'll see how we go. Oh, I got some paint. You might need, see, you got a little left over. I do, at least. I might have stretched some of mine out a little far. That's okay. It's always better to have a little bit left over, because then if you find that you've got some patches or something, you can go back. See, like some of my tin foil is coming through here, and that's all right. I'll just use some of this little bit of leftover here and kind of patch it over a little bit, and no one will know. Because again, no one's ever seen a dragon egg, so you don't know what it looks like. And then if you really want to be a perfectionist, you absolutely can. You can get a little bit of water, and with your finger, anything where you see like some thumbprints. Oh, my light went off. See if it'll go back on. If I roll back and roll forward, maybe not. Might be doing this in the dark, friends. Ah, there it goes. Back on. Had to have some excitement for our last day, right, friends? All right. So there we go. Kind of make a nice egg shape right there. Oop. I found an air pocket. So then just press, 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 press. Oh, I've got a little bit of tin foil sticking through. Press, 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 press. There we go. All right. So yes, so we need it to be a little bit thicker because we're going to press our gems into it. And if we're just pressing the gems straight into the tin foil, they're not going to stick. So that's why. So if you have a little, just save a little bit of leftover. And if you find some spots that seem a little thinner than that 1/2 inch thick, then just add a little bit. Or you can let those be sparkly and shine through. And that can be part of your decoration. That's totally fine too. Your choice, whatever you want to do. All right. Okay, there we go. I've got mine about to where I'm pretty happy with it. I see one more little spot that I might want to cover over if I lost it. Not that big because I lost it. If I see it, I'll cover back. All right. So there's my egg. It's kind of pinky swirly. It's still kind of white. I'm gonna cover up my paint. I'm gonna wipe a little bit of paint off my desk so I don't put my elbow in it. All right, so there we go. This is our egg. And now it's time to make it fancy, okay? All right, so, and my friends, if you need to step away or anything like that, and you're not quite done with your egg, you can just take a paper towel and give it a little bit of wet, or even just drop a few drops of water in a plastic bag and just put it down so that it doesn't start drying out on you before you're ready, okay? All right, so here's our egg. There it is, right there. And now, fun part, now we decorate. Okay, so I've got some sea glass and I've got some shells. I've got some gems. Maybe you think about a pattern. Maybe you just start doing it randomly. Totally up to you. But you see, you want to get it in there so it will stick. So you really need to make sure you have that nice 1/2 inch thick. And if you rolled it out too thin, you've always got your extra clay. So maybe you don't make 2, maybe you just wrap it around again. Maybe you made a bigger egg. See? Ooh. And it's hard, and if you put it down on a surface and you press too hard, you're gonna get a flat back of the egg. So it's good to hold it. But see, I'm starting to put some glass in here. That's what mine looks like. Right there. Another light one. Stick it in there like that. Like so. Okay. Starting to come together with our fancy dragon egg. I'm gonna do a shell all the way up at the top. I don't know, maybe dragon eggs have shells in them. I don't know. What do you think? See, right at the top there. Another purple one at the bottom. Right in there, see? Like that. All right, I'm gonna get some gems now. I'm gonna very carefully lay mine down. I'm gonna do some gems down the side. Maybe a star, like that. And it's up to you if you want to cover your whole dragon egg, if you want to leave some space. Oh, there was that spot that I missed. All right. There we go. You can also, if you want to, you can use push pins if you want. That works too. But see, there I've got my gems on the side. I've got my sea glass in the front. I've got my shells in the bottom. I'm going to do a big sea glass in the back. Press that in there just like that. And there we go. See? So it doesn't really stick out. You see? Then that's how we know we've got enough clay for it to dry. All right, so my friends, and you can now keep crafting away with your dragon egg, and you can make it as fancy or as plain as you'd like. There we go. There's my dragon egg right there. What do you think? Pretty cool, pretty fancy. I've never seen one, but this is what I think a dragon egg looks like, right there. All right, my friends, I'm gonna put mine down very carefully so that it can dry. Again, 24 hours to let it dry, friends, and it really does take 24 hours. So we have to employ some of Miss B's favorite things, one of them being patience. You don't need to put it in the sun or anything like that. Just put it down on like a paper plate or something that it won't really stick to. So like a paper towel might not be the best thing to stick it to. If you make 2 of them, you can always cut this open and open up your bag and let it sit right on the bag and let it dry. All right, and then again, once it's dry, if you want to paint it then, you can use your paint when it's dry. So about 3:15 tomorrow. All right, friends, thank you so much again for crafting with me today and for the last year. It has been so much fun crafting along with you on Monday mornings. This is our very last craft with us. We will, for the rest of the week, we will have a crafty clean out. So we'll have the same cart out and we'll just have pieces of crafts that we had extra of or other program bags that didn't get picked up. So swing by the library. You might find something cool to take home and work on yourself. And that will just be the rest of this week until the 3rd, which is Friday. So we've got our crafty clearance. You can come and grab those, but we won't be doing any crafts. There won't be, some of them won't even have instructions. It'll just be bags of really cool things for you to take home with you. Thank you again so very much, my friends. As always, we say be safe, be kind, wash your hands, and wear your mask. I'll see you all around the library very soon, and thank you so much for crafting with me. Bye, friends. Happy back to school.